There are no accidents in creation. What you hold in the stillness of your mind with faith must take shape in the realm we call reality. I did not chase the $70 million 0 cents. I did not write 100 goals. I did not plead with heaven. I simply whispered and believed. 3 words, simple, final, alive. I'm wealthy, not I wish I was wealthy, not I hope one day it will come, not I will be, I am. Present, final, without doubt. Let me tell you this. Those 3 words are not magic in the ordinary sense. They are not spells. They are revelations. They are keys. They are vibrations that must be felt deep within. And once they are impressed upon the subconscious, the world has no choice but to echo them. If you shut the door against any possibility, if you confront either the past, when I said I am wealthy, I did not wait for the bank account to reflect it. I did not measure my current surroundings. I felt it. I lived in that wealth internally. I sat in a different chair. I walked with a different rhythm. I dined at a finer table, all in my imagination. I closed my eyes and saw the world respond. That is the secret. Imagination is not fantasy. It is the womb of reality. The $70 million 0 cents did not come because I wished for it. It came because I no longer needed it. I was it. I became the state where it was natural to receive. The world must bring you what you already are. Now listen closely. These 3 words, I am wealthy. They are not just a phrase. They are an identity. They must be repeated until they dissolve the old self. You say them until the old man, the one who doubted, feared, and chased, is gone, and a new man stands in his place. A man who does not desire wealth because he is it. It was never about the money. It was always about the consciousness. $70 million, 0 cents, was just the shadow. The real shift was internal. When I changed the self-concept, the entire world rearranged. So I say to you, not with urgency, not with struggle, but with knowing. I am wealthy. Feel it now, accept it now, live from it now, and watch what must follow. Consciousness is the cause of every event, every circumstance, and every dollar that flows into your life. There is no power outside of your awareness that determines your financial destiny. The idea that something out there must change before you become wealthy is the grand illusion, the false belief that keeps many trapped in cycles of lack and effort. But the truth is this: all wealth flows from the inner state of being well. It is not about how much work you do or how many people you know. It is about who you are, inwardly, what you accept as true of yourself. The moment you shift your consciousness, the moment you become wealth in your inner world, the outer world begins to reflect that new identity. This is not imagination as fantasy. This is imagination as creation. The world around you is not fixed or final. It is plastic. It is a mirror. And like any mirror, it cannot show you what you are not already being. It does not respond to what you want or wish or plead for. It responds to what you are. So if you desire financial overflow, you must stop looking outside for signs. You must go within and claim that which you seek is already yours. You must assume the state, live from it, think from it, feel from it. The one who walks in the awareness of being wealthy does not act like someone hoping for a change. They act as one who already knows. And this knowing is the seed from which all manifestations grow. And this knowing is the seed from which all manifestations grow. To say I am wealthy and mean it, truly mean it, is to activate the law of consciousness. It is to sow a new identity into the soil of the subconscious, which in time will bear fruit as visible wealth. That is the great mystery hidden in plain sight. All change begins in awareness, not in the bank, not in the job, not in the market, but in the soul. In the quiet moments when you close your eyes and declare with inner certainty, "This is who I am now." This principle is not limited by time, location, or background. It does not ask if you are deserving, qualified, or experienced. It only asks one question: what are you conscious of being? That is the source. That is the cause. Your world is simply your consciousness, objectified. You don't get what you want. You get what you are. If you want to see millions flow into your life, you must feel the millions within first, not with strain or doubt, but with peace and confidence. Not someday, but now. You must saturate your inner world with the feeling of already having it. Speak it until it feels natural. Walk as if it is already done. Think thoughts from that place. That is the true act of creation. When your inner world is full of wealth, your outer world cannot help but reflect it. Not because you forced it, but because you became it. The outer world is the shadow. The substance is your consciousness. Become the thing, and the world will echo it back to you without fail. Words have power, but not because of their sound. The true power of any word lies not in its syllables, not in the way it rolls off the tongue, but in the vibration it carries, the feeling it evokes deep within. The three words that changed everything, "I am wealthy," are not spoken into the air to beg or convince the universe. They are not mantras to be shouted, chanted, or proclaimed until your voice is hoarse. These words work not by their volume, but by their vibration. It is the felt meaning behind the words that causes the world to shift. When you speak these words in alignment with your being, when you feel them, you move into a different frequency of life. You enter the state of the wish fulfilled. It is not something you strive to believe, it is something you rest in. That feeling, that subtle, powerful conviction, is what the world responds to. The silence of the soul speaks louder than the noise of desperate words. And in that silence, when the words are no longer just thoughts, but identities, reality bends to mirror them. Most people say affirmations from a place of lack. They say, "I am wealthy," while feeling broke. "I am loved," while feeling abandoned. "I am powerful," while feeling afraid. And then they wonder why nothing changes. It's because the outer sound is disconnected from the inner truth. The vibration is missing. The subconscious cannot be deceived by words alone. It only responds to feeling. And feeling is the secret. Feeling is the fuel. The power of the three words lies in your ability to become what you declare. When you say, "I am wealthy," you must become wealth in consciousness. You must wear it like a second skin, not for performance, but as truth, as the most natural and obvious thing in the world. You must walk as if it's done. Think from that place. Feel the confidence, ease, and expansiveness of already having it. Let that vibration move through your body, settle into your mind, and anchor itself in your spirit. The words are seeds, but a seed without soil, water, and light remains dormant. The feeling is the soil, the repetition is the water, and faith is the light. When you feel your words as already true, when you sit in the stillness of "I am" without resistance, something within shifts. That shift is the beginning of all manifestation. You do not need to shout these words. You do not need to prove anything to anyone, not even yourself. You only need to accept them. In quiet, sincere stillness, say them, not to the world, but to your soul. Whisper them with reverence, not demand. Let them move through your being until the outer world has no choice, but to reflect your inner certainty. The world doesn't respond to your words, it responds to your state. Words are the doorway, feeling is the key, and conviction, quiet, sacred conviction, is the force that opens every gate. Speak from your center, feel it in your bones, and let the silence of your belief do the talking. To assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled is to abandon the waiting game. It is to release the desperate search for proof and enter into the state where what you desire is already yours. Not tomorrow, not next month, but now. It is a profound inner decision to become the version of yourself who already has the thing you want. This is not about pretending. This is not acting in the worldly sense. It is deeper than performance. It is inner transformation. When you speak the words, I am wealthy, or I am loved, or I am free, you are not calling to something that is far off. You are not hoping the universe is listening. You are declaring the end. You are standing on the mountaintop of fulfillment, looking back at the journey that your senses have yet to witness. You are feeling what it's like to be at the end of the story, even when the physical world still looks unchanged. Feeling what it's like to be at the end of the story. You are feeling what it's like to be at the end of the story. You are feeling what it's like to be at the end of the story. You are feeling. This is the difference between living from your desire and living towards it. To live towards a desire is to place it always in the future, always something to be reached, always a few steps away. But to live from the desire is to claim it now, as a present fact in your imagination. And this is the secret. The imagination, when believed in, becomes the only reality that matters. The senses may contradict you. The bank account may say no. The outer world may laugh. But none of that can overpower a man or woman who dwells daily in the feeling of the fulfilled wish. To assume the feeling is to embody the new identity. It's not about getting something, it's about becoming someone. Ask yourself, how would I feel if it were already done? What would my mornings look like? How would I walk, speak, breathe, dress? The mind doesn't know the difference between what is real and what is vividly imagined. So if you feed it the feeling of completion, it will rewire your inner state, and the world will reorganize itself to match it. This is not passive hoping. This is active creation. It takes courage to feel rich when the bills are unpaid. It takes faith to feel healed while the pain still lingers. But that is the path. That is the price of creation. To believe before the evidence shows up. And when you do, you shift timelines. You collapse waiting. You bring the end into the now. The words you speak must carry the feeling of the end, not the longing for it, but the satisfaction of it, not the desire, but the possession. When you live from the state of your fulfilled desire, you no longer question if it will happen. You know it has already happened in the unseen, and you rest in that knowing. To assume the feeling is to dwell in truth, the truth that your inner world is the only world that matters. You don't wait for the world to confirm it. You move first. You feel first, and the world, like a mirror, has no choice but to reflect what you have become. Repetition is not a ritual. It is a tool of transformation. The mind is not moved by occasional affirmations or fleeting thoughts. It is molded by what it hears consistently, especially what it hears from you. The words you speak, the ideas you entertain, the beliefs you nourish, when repeated over time, begin to settle into the subconscious, and the subconscious, once impressed, becomes the author of your reality. Repetition is how you teach the inner world to believe what the outer world has not yet shown. In the beginning, the words may feel foreign. I am wealthy, I am chosen, I am powerful. At first, they sound like empty declarations, hopeful but unconvincing, but that is simply because the old self still echoes too loudly. You are not failing, you are reprogramming. And all reprogramming requires time, persistence, and faith. The words must be repeated until they dissolve resistance, until they are no longer spoken to the self but from the self. When repetition reaches the point where the statement feels natural, effortless, and obvious, then you have saturated the mind. And the moment the subconscious accepts the idea as real, the world begins to reflect it. It's not about saying the words louder or with more emotion. It's about saying them consistently, over and over, day after day. Whisper them when you wake. Think them when you walk. Write them before you sleep, until they no longer feel like trying. They feel like remembering. This is how you overwrite the old narrative, the story of lack, fear, doubt, and delay. It was built through repetition too, years of hearing it's not possible, you're not enough, you can't have that, layered your mind with lies that became your inner reality. But just as those stories were written, they can be rewritten, word by word, thought by thought, feeling by feeling. The key is persistence. Repetition without impatience. You do not plant a seed and dig it up every morning to see if it's growing. You water it, you nurture it, you trust the process. The same is true here. Speak the truth of who you are, again and again, not to get something, but to become something. As you repeat these new truths, they begin to shift your emotional state. You start to walk differently, think differently, respond differently, and soon you find that the words you once repeated out of hope now rise up from you as a natural identity. You no longer say, "I am wealthy," to convince yourself. You say it because it's who you are. It's your default. And reality, unable to argue with the dominant vibration, aligns accordingly. This is the unseen work, the inner saturation, the conditioning of the soul. When your inner world is fully occupied by a new idea, when there is no room left for contradiction, manifestation becomes inevitable. Not because you forced it, but because you believed it long enough for it to become your truth. Repeat the words until they are no longer words, until they are you. Then watch as the world, with perfect obedience, becomes the mirror of your new self. The world does not respond to what you want. It responds to what you are. This is the principle that governs all creation, whether you are conscious of it or not. You may want riches, love, health, success, and yet remain in a state of lack, longing, and separation from those very things. The mistake lies in believing that desire alone is enough to cause change. But the law is clear. You do not receive what you beg for. You receive what you embody. The $70 million, 0 cents, didn't come because someone wanted money. It didn't arrive because of struggle or hustle or perfectly written goals. It came because a shift occurred inwardly. A shift in self-concept, in identity, in vibration. The person who received the wealth had first become it in consciousness. Before the numbers appeared in the account, before the deals were made, before the opportunities arrived, the inner transformation had already taken place. The outer was only following the inner. When you think of yourself as someone who wants money, you create a reality in which you are always reaching, always seeking, always needing. Wanting is rooted in the feeling of not having. And that feeling becomes your signal, your vibration, your energetic instruction to the world. And the world, being your mirror, reflects it faithfully. But when you become wealth inwardly, when you think, feel, and act as someone who already is abundant, the world reorganizes itself to match that state. Not because you forced it to, but because you became the version of yourself to whom that outcome is natural. That's the secret. Your results will always align with your self-concept. Not your effort, not your wishes, but your state of being. This is why you must go beyond wishing. You must stop hoping the outer world will fix the inner void. The truth is that the outer world is neutral. It doesn't give you what you ask for, it gives you what you are conscious of being. It is a mirror, and mirrors don't lie. If the reflection is one of struggle, scarcity, or delay, it's only because something in you continues to identify with that story. To change the reflection, you must change the one looking into the mirror. You must close your eyes and build the identity of someone who already has what they once sought. Feel the security, the peace, the confidence, the joy, the gratitude, not as fantasy, but as truth. When it becomes more real in your imagination than the physical world must follow. This is not wishful thinking, this is spiritual law. The one who receives is not the one who tries hardest. It is the one who has assumed the state of already having. The one who no longer hopes but knows. The one who is no longer trying to attract money, but walks as if they already are abundance itself. When you embody it inwardly, life reflects it outwardly. You do not attract what you chase. You attract what you are. Become it within and let the world catch up. Imagination, faith, and feeling. These are not poetic concepts, they are the trinity of creation. They form the unseen equation that governs all manifestation. Every result in your life, whether desired or unwanted, began with this formula. And when these three are aligned, when they work together in harmony, reality bends. Not by force, not by effort, but by spiritual law. Imagination is the womb of reality. It is the place where all things are born. Everything you now see, touch, or experience began first as an image in someone's mind. It was first imagined, then believed, and finally felt into being. The moment you imagine something vividly, when you see it in detail, when you hear the sounds, touch the textures, live inside the scene, you plant a seed in the subconscious. But imagination alone is not enough. For that seed to take root, it must be wrapped in faith. Faith is the conviction that what you do not yet see is already real. It is not blind belief. It is not passive waiting. It is the inner knowing that your imagination is not just fantasy, it is creation. When you have faith in your imaginal act, you trust that it is working, even when your senses argue. You no longer need evidence. You no longer beg. You simply rest in the assurance that what you imagine is now forming, even in the invisible. But the final ingredient, the one that breathes life into the whole process, is feeling. Feeling is the energy that activates faith and gives texture to imagination. When you feel the joy of having your desire, when you feel the gratitude as though it were already yours, you begin to impress the subconscious with a new state of being. And since the subconscious creates your reality, it must obey that impression. It is not enough to think about wealth, love, or success. You must feel yourself already surrounded by it. You must feel what it's like to live that life. Not someday, but now. The feeling is the signal. It tells the subconscious, this is who I am. This is my truth. And when imagination, faith, and feeling unite, the world must conform. It is not a question of if, it is only a matter of when. Most people reverse the process. They wait for results before they feel successful. They want the evidence first, and then they will believe. But manifestation does not work that way. You must believe first and feel first. You must imagine it real, and reality will echo your inner world back to you. This is the power you've always had. You don't need to chase anything. You don't need to force the world to give you what you want. You need only to imagine it clearly, believe in it deeply, and feel it as true. and the universe will yield, not because you fought for it, but because you aligned with it. Imagination plus faith plus feeling, this is the formula. Master it within, and life will mirror it without. You are the cause. Reality is the effect. You were never meant to chase, beg, or prove yourself worthy of what is already yours. The $70 million 0 cents was not luck, not chance, not effort alone. It was the inevitable result of alignment. Alignment with truth, with identity, with vibration. When you understand that consciousness is the cause, when you no longer say the words but become the words, reality must follow. You do not manifest through force. You manifest through assumption, through repetition, through unwavering faith in what your senses cannot yet see. The world cannot give you what you have not first become. You imagine it, you believe it, you feel it, and the world reflects it. So speak those 3 words. I am wealthy, not as a wish, but as a truth. Not from need, but from knowing. Let them move through you until they are no longer something you say, but who you are. Because once you are it within, it must appear without. This is the law, this is the mystery, and this is your power. Sincerely, thank you for receiving this message, not just with your ears, but with your soul. May you walk forward not seeking riches, but knowing you already are the source from which all riches flow. There is a secret that most overlook, the power of stillness. When you are still, truly still, you are not doing nothing, you are allowing everything. Stillness is the state of surrender, the moment when the mind quiets and the soul begins to speak. It is there in the silent sanctuary of your being that creation begins. You have been taught to chase, to run after dreams, to force results. But what if I told you the jackpot, the millions, the breakthrough, the shift has been waiting not for your effort, but for your stillness? Be still. Because stillness is not weakness, it is power, it is clarity. It is the invisible hand that writes your story while the world sleeps. When you stop scrambling in fear and start standing in faith, the jackpot rushes to meet you. Now believe, not in desperation, not in hope, but in certainty. Believe like the seed believes it will bloom, because it simply knows. Take the desire you hold in your heart, and now assume it is already yours. Feel the joy of having it. Feel the relief, the confidence, the thrill, as if the jackpot were already in your hand. Your imagination is not just play, it is the workshop of your future. When you feel something is true, even in silence, the universe obeys. You don't win by begging the world, you win by knowing within. What you accept as truth, the world must express. Stop waiting for evidence. You are the evidence. You are the source of reality, not the servant to it. And so now, receive. Let go of how, let go of when. Let go of the need to prove anything. Let go of the struggle. What you let go of in the outer world, you claim in the inner world. Walk in gratitude as if it has happened. Say thank you, not because you see the millions, but because you know they are already yours. Feel rich before the numbers hit. Feel chosen before the confirmation comes. Feel lucky now, and luck will pour over you like a waterfall. The jackpot isn't coming to you, it's coming from you. It was never in the numbers, it was always in your mind. Be still, believe, receive, because the jackpot is not a future event. It is your present assumption. And the moment you claim it within, the world has no choice. It must deliver. In the silence of your being, where the noise of the world fades and the chaos of the mind slows to stillness, a sacred doorway opens. This is not the stillness of inactivity or apathy, but the deep and powerful stillness of alignment. Alignment with the unseen, with the source, with the creative force that breathes worlds into existence. Stillness is not a void. It is not absence. It is presence in its purest form. It is in that quiet space that you remember who you are, beyond the stories, beyond the struggles, beyond the doubt. When you allow yourself to be still, truly still, you enter the dimension where reality is shaped. Not by force, not by action, but by assumption and inner knowing. It is the womb of manifestation, the place where all things begin. Most people live on the surface of life, reacting, chasing, striving, unaware that their very effort is often the resistance blocking the very thing they desire. They confuse motion with progress, activity with power. But the real power comes not from doing, but from being, from knowing, from stepping into the silence and remembering that creation does not come from strain, but from surrender. When you are still, something shifts. The mind that once demanded proof begins to rest. The heart that once ached with longing starts to trust. And in that subtle, sacred shift, the energy that once chased becomes the energy that receives. The world has taught you to be busy, to fix, to hustle, to run. But the soul teaches something different. It says, be still. Not because there is nothing to do, but because everything is already done. In the stillness, you hear the voice beneath all voices, the whisper of your true self saying, it is already yours, it is already done. And you begin to believe, not because of external evidence, but because of an inner certainty that needs no explanation. The fear that once controlled you no longer holds the same weight. The doubt that once screamed begins to fade into silence. And in that silence, you feel peace. Not because you've figured it all out, but because you finally let go of the need to. Stillness is not a delay, it is the divine pause that lets the universe reorganize itself around your inner state. When you are still, you are declaring with full faith, I no longer chase because I have received. You shift your vibration from seeker to receiver, from lack to fulfillment. In that stillness, your assumptions become louder than your circumstances. Your faith becomes stronger than your fears. Your inner reality begins to rewrite the outer world. So rest in that silence, not with hesitation, but with reverence. It is not an empty space. It is the most powerful place you will ever be. It is the space where worlds are born. It is the field where energy responds to intention. It is the moment where you stop speaking to the world and let the world begin listening to you. In the stillness, there is no effort, only alignment. In the stillness, you do not ask, you know. In the stillness, the miracle is already on its way. And all that remains is for you to receive it. Faith is not a fragile hope whispered in desperation. It is the inner conviction that what you desire is already yours, even before your senses confirm it. It is not a longing, but a claiming. True belief does not beg or plead, it accepts. It moves with quiet certainty. It knows. Belief is not something you chase after as if it were hiding beyond the mountains of doubt. It is not something you wait to feel once evidence appears. Belief is something you choose. You declare within yourself that what you have imagined is now real, and then you persist in that inner knowing regardless of what your eyes see. Most people confuse faith with hope. Hope waits, hope wonders, hope says, maybe someday. But faith declares, it is already done. Faith is active even in stillness. It reshapes your state of being. It alters your tone, your posture, your vibration. When you believe, truly believe, you are no longer asking, you are preparing to receive. There is a law at work, silent and constant, that reflects your inner assumptions outwardly. What you hold to be true in the unseen becomes what is seen. The world does not respond to your wishes, it responds to your convictions. Life is not reacting to your words, it is reflecting your beliefs. So ask yourself, what are you assuming to be true? Are you believing in your wealth while feeling poor? Are you affirming success while fearing failure? You cannot hold conflicting beliefs and expect manifestation. You must become one with the thing you desire. Not tomorrow, not someday, now. When you believe it is yours, you act, feel, speak, and walk as though it is done. This is not pretending, this is not fantasy, this is creation. When an architect sees the building in their mind, they are not delusional, they are beginning the process. And in the same way, your belief is the blueprint of your reality. Every assumption is a seed. When you water it with faith and emotion, it must grow. You must learn to trust the invisible, not with passive waiting, but with active knowing. When you say, I am wealthy, not because the money is in your hands, but because it is in your mind and heart, you are walking in faith. You are claiming your truth before the world has had time to reflect it. This is the inner shift that changes everything. The moment you stop hoping and start believing, the universe responds. The people you need begin to show up. The doors you thought were closed begin to open. The opportunities you long for seem to find you, not because something outside changed, but because you did. Belief is the builder of your world. It carves paths where there were walls. It creates bridges where there were gaps. The outer is only echoing what the inner declares. So don't wait to believe after you see. Believe now, assume now, live now in the awareness that what you desire is already yours. And then simply watch. Watch the world rearrange itself around the power of your inner certainty. You do not receive what you want, you receive what you feel to be true. Wishing keeps your desire at a distance. It acknowledges separation. It says, I do not yet have. But feeling collapses that distance. It draws the future into the present. When you feel that you already possess the thing you desire, whether it be money, love, health, or success, you create the inner atmosphere that aligns with its arrival. Feeling is not a side effect of manifestation, it is the cause. It is the bridge between the unseen and the seen. You do not wait to feel joy until the money arrives. You feel joy now, and the money follows. You do not wait to feel loved until the partner appears. You feel loved now, and love reveals itself. It is the inner state that gives birth to the outer reflection. Many people try to manifest with words, with thoughts, with repetition, but their emotions contradict their intentions. They speak abundance while feeling lack. They declare success while feeling unworthy. But it is the emotion that speaks the loudest. The universe does not respond to what you say. It responds to the vibration you carry. Emotional acceptance is the true receiving. It is when your body, your breath, your imagination, and your energy all agree. I already have it. That agreement within yourself sends out a signal, a frequency, that calls the reality into form. The moment you feel wealthy, the world begins to shape itself to reflect that wealth. The moment you feel chosen, doors open that you couldn't force with action. The feeling doesn't have to be dramatic, it can be subtle. A quiet confidence, a steady peace, a soft thrill that runs beneath the surface of your day. But it must be real. You must enter into that inner experience of already having. That is the secret. Gratitude is one of the fastest ways to get there. Not gratitude for what you have, but gratitude for what you've assumed to already be yours. Gratitude for the millions, even if your bank account says otherwise. Gratitude for the opportunity, even if it hasn't knocked yet. When you say thank you not as a wish but as a declaration, you shift your state. You signal to life, I am aligned with this reality. This is not pretending. This is not playing make-believe. This is energetic alignment. This is how all creation works, from the inside out. The outer world is delayed. It echoes what you consistently feel to be true. So the question is not, how do I get it? The real question is, can I feel it now? Can you feel the relief of the money in your hands? Can you feel the joy of the answered prayer? Can you feel the security, the freedom, the fulfillment as if it has already happened? If you can, then you have it. Because feeling is the evidence of possession, the outer proof will come, not because you chased it, but because you became it. You lived in the energy of it. And energy always precedes form. So feel it now, own it now, live it now, and let reality do the rest. The world you see around you is not the cause, it is the effect. It is not the master, it is the mirror. Everything you observe in your outer life is a reflection of the thoughts, beliefs, and feelings you hold within. Your circumstances, your relationships, your finances, your health, all of them echo the image you carry in your inner world. Yet most people live in reverse. They try to change the mirror without changing the face it reflects. Imagine standing in front of a mirror and frowning, then demanding the reflection smile first. It's absurd, yet this is how most of us approach life. We try to manipulate outcomes, force change, push people, or chase success, all while remaining in the same internal state. But the mirror cannot lie, it only reflects, it cannot lead. It follows when you react to what you see. When you let the circumstances dictate your emotions, your identity, or your belief in what's possible, you give your power away. You hand over the pen and let the world write your story. But the truth is, what you see now is a past creation. It's a projection of an earlier belief, an older assumption, a former state of being. You are never looking at now, you are always looking at then. So if you want a new future, you must stop battling the old reflection. Stop fighting the mirror. Stop trying to rearrange reality from the outside in. The only way to shift your world is to shift your inner image, your assumption of who you are, what you deserve, and what is possible for you. This doesn't mean ignoring reality. It means recognizing it for what it is. Feedback, not fate. It is showing you what you've believed up until now, but you're not bound to continue the story. You are free to rewrite the script at any moment. The mirror will follow. The power lies not in reaction, but in assumption. Begin to assume your new reality within, regardless of what your senses report. Assume wealth even when bills come in. Assume love even in moments of loneliness. Assume health even when symptoms appear. The outer world may delay, but it cannot deny what is consistently felt within. When you stop trying to fix what you see and instead align with what you know, life begins to shift. People change, circumstances unfold, and opportunities arise, not because you forced them, but because your inner world demanded it. Creation is always inside out. The world bends to the image you carry, not occasionally, but always. The more you understand this, the less power you give to appearances, and the more authority you claim over your reality. So close your eyes. What are you projecting? What are you believing without question? What are you assuming to be true? Change that, and the mirror will follow. There comes a moment in the manifestation process when you must stop pushing and start allowing. That moment is when you let go, not out of defeat, but in trust. Trying too hard sends a signal that you do not yet have what you desire. It affirms lack, not abundance. And the universe, ever obedient to your inner state, mirrors back what you consistently affirm, consciously or unconsciously. Possession blocks the flow, desperation repels. The more you hold tightly to something, the more you signal that it is separate from you. Your energy becomes tense, anxious, controlling. And creation cannot move through that. Energy must flow freely. It must move through openness, not constriction. Letting go does not mean you no longer care. It means you now believe. It means you trust that your desire has been heard, your assumption has been accepted, and the manifestation is already in motion. You no longer feel the need to micromanage reality. You no longer question the timing. You release your grip and step into faith. When you plant a seed in the soil, you do not dig it up every day to check if it's growing. You water it, you protect it, but you do not disturb it. You trust the process that you cannot see. The same is true with manifestation. The inner seed, the assumption, the feeling, the vision must be planted and then left alone. Interference from fear or doubt only delays what was already on its way. Detachment is not indifference, it is power. It is saying, I know this belongs to me, so I no longer need to chase it. It is the calm confidence of one who understands that all things unfold in perfect time. Detachment opens the door. It clears the space. It invites the outcome in. The energy of it is done is very different from the energy of will it happen? When you say it is done, you rest. You stop looking for signs. You stop scanning your reality for confirmation. You simply live in the energy of already having. That is the vibration that magnetizes your desire to you. Often, people block their own blessings by clinging too tightly. They try to control every detail, fear every delay, and question every step. But what you fear, you feed. And what you release, you allow. The paradox is this: the less you chase it, the faster it comes. Not because you stop wanting, but because you stop resisting. The universe responds to surrender, it responds to ease. The moment you relax and trust, things begin to move. The phone rings, the opportunity appears, the breakthrough unfolds, not because you forced it, but because you finally got out of the way. And let go, not of your desire, but of your need to control the path. Trust that your intention, once firmly held and emotionally accepted, has already taken root in the unseen. Your work now is to live in the state of the wish fulfilled, to carry the energy of thank you, not please. So breathe, detach, step back, and let life do what it does best. Because only when you let go can it come in. Gratitude is not merely a polite response to receiving. It is the magnetic power that draws your desire closer. It is not an afterthought, it is a creative force. When you express gratitude, not only for what you can touch, but also for what you've assumed is yours, even before it arrives, you step into the true vibration of wealth. Gratitude affirms ownership. When you say thank you before the manifestation has occurred, you are not pretending, you are claiming. You are acknowledging that in the unseen realm, the thing you desire is already yours. You are walking in alignment with the truth that reality is shaped from the inside out, and that what you feel is done within must eventually appear without. Most wait to feel thankful after something good happens. But those who understand the deeper laws of creation give thanks before the evidence. They understand that to feel grateful now is to live in the end result. And to live in the end is the secret key that unlocks the door to manifestation. Gratitude is emotional certainty. It says, I have received, even if your senses tell you otherwise. It is not a wish. It is not a hopeful gesture. It is faith in action. It is the emotional signature of someone who knows how this game works. Someone who understands that the outer world is delayed and that what you see is only catching up to what you have already claimed within. When you give thanks for the jackpot before the numbers arrive, you're not fooling yourself, you're forming the future. When you feel and speak as though the millions are already in your hands, you tune your vibration to abundance, and the world must respond in kind. You've entered the state of the receiver, and life only delivers to that state. Gratitude lifts you out of lack. It silences the voice of worry. It dissolves doubt. It softens resistance. It doesn't ask how will it come. It simply smiles and says, thank you. It is done. Gratitude keeps you anchored in the truth of your assumption. It keeps you from wavering when reality tries to distract you with delays or contradictions. Those who are truly rich, whether in money, love, peace, or purpose, speak the language of gratitude constantly. They do not wait to feel blessed. They declare it in every breath. They celebrate the invisible as if it were visible, and that celebration creates the condition for receiving. So begin now. Say thank you for the life you've imagined. Say thank you for the money that's on its way. Say thank you for the answered prayer, the open door, the dream fulfilled, even if you see no sign of it yet. That is the kind of faith that moves mountains. That is the kind of gratitude that bends reality. Because the one who is grateful before the gift arrives is not guessing. They know. And the universe always responds to that knowing with more to be thankful for. You are not here to wish, to wait, or to wonder. You are here to create, not by force, but by stillness, belief, feeling, and trust. Everything you desire already exists in the unseen. Your job is not to chase it, but to align with it. Be still and know that it is done. Believe with the certainty of one who already holds the promise. Feel the joy, the calm, and the gratitude of having it now. Detach from the how, release the when, and simply allow. Know that life reflects your inner state, and when that state becomes rich in gratitude, full of faith, and certain of the outcome, the world has no choice but to respond. The jackpot is not luck. It is law. It is yours the moment you accept it as done. Thank you for walking this journey inward, where your true power lives. Thank you for choosing to believe. Hate you for feeling it real, and most of all, thank you for receiving what has always been waiting for you. Thank you. Close your eyes for a moment and let the noise of the world fall away. Let the opinions, the doubts, the worries that have circled your mind like restless birds finally grow silent. Because in this moment, nothing outside of you matters. There is only one reality that exists, the one you claim within your own imagination. You see, everything you seek is already here, the wealth, the freedom, the life of abundance. It is not waiting in some distant future. It exists now in this very moment, hidden behind the veil of your assumptions. But most people live as prisoners of circumstance, bowing to what they see, to what they touch, to what they fear. They never grasp the most profound truth. Your imagination is the only reality, and what you assume to be true hardens into fact. So say to yourself, not as a wish, not as a distant dream, but as an unshakable fact, I am a multi-millionaire. Feel those words echo in the chambers of your mind. Let them saturate your being. not as empty affirmation, but as the declaration of a truth that has always been yours. You are not becoming wealthy. You are not waiting for the money. You are the wealth itself, clothed in the garments of this physical world. Do you not understand? The world reflects your inner state like a mirror. You cannot receive what you do not first claim. If you persist in saying, "One day I'll be rich," you have already postponed your abundance. You have handed your power to the illusion of time. But when you stand still, with unwavering conviction, and declare, "I am a multimillionaire," the universe bends itself to fulfill that decree. Some will laugh, some will doubt, but their opinions are the echoes of their own limitations, not yours. They are trapped in the false god of appearances. But you are the architect of reality. What you feel yourself to be, inwardly the world must mirror outwardly. It is law. As certain as the sun will rise, do not wait for the evidence to speak it. Do not look at your bank account for permission to claim it. The zeros, the titles, the material displays, they are only shadows cast by the light of your imagination. First, you embody the state. First, you walk, you talk, you breathe as the multimillionaire. Within. You buy nothing with hesitation, you speak with the calm certainty of wealth, and your heart knows the joy of freedom. The world cannot resist the command of a mind that refuses to waver. Every time you look in the mirror, every time you hear your own voice, remind yourself, not with desperation, but with the cool confidence of one who knows that you are already what you desire to be. Not tomorrow, not next year. Now. Your senses may tell you otherwise. They may whisper of lack, of limitations, of impossibilities. But your senses are servants, not masters. They obey the imagination, not the other way around. Persist in the assumption. Feel the reality of your wealth pressing in on all sides, even when the outer world still plays its old tired song of limitation. This is not about arrogance. It is about truth. You were never meant to live in scarcity. The riches of the universe are infinite, and they flow toward the one who claims them with certainty, without apology. So say it again, quietly or boldly, but say it as the author of your life. I am a multimillionaire. Let the words sink beyond the surface, into the deep soil of your consciousness, where all creation begins. And as you walk through life, let every step, every breath, every decision carry the quiet, unwavering energy of that truth. For what you assume to be real, with persistence and faith, will become the world you walk in. You do not wait for wealth to appear before you claim it. You do not stand at the window of life staring out, hoping for abundance to knock on your door. That is not how reality unfolds. The moment you say to yourself with quiet, unwavering certainty, "I am a multimillionaire," you have already set creation in motion. But it begins not in the bank account, not in the business, not in the opportunities. It begins within you, in the hidden chamber of your imagination, where all true creation takes shape long before the senses can touch it. Most people wait. They wait for conditions, for favorable news, for the approval of others, for the numbers to show up in their account, for the world to grant them permission to believe in themselves. But those who understand the nature of reality, those who truly grasp the power that resides within them, do not wait. They understand that they must assume the identity of wealth long before the physical world offers its reflection. Think about it. Every great accomplishment, every remarkable fortune, every empire built on the earth began first in the mind of an individual who dared to believe in a reality unseen. The buildings, the bank balances, the luxurious lifestyles, those are the after effects, the outer shadows cast by the inner belief. If you refuse to step into the feeling of wealth now, the world will never bring it to your feet. There is no magic date in the future when you suddenly become worthy of abundance. The only moment you ever truly have is now. And within this moment, you can accept or reject the identity that shapes your reality. When you say to yourself, I am a multimillionaire, you are not lying to yourself. You are not pretending. You are stepping into a higher version of your own being, the one who already possesses the wealth, the freedom, the limitless resources. It is crucial to understand that wealth is not simply money stacked in a vault or numbers flashing on a screen. Wealth is a state of consciousness. It is the knowing that everything you need, everything you desire, everything that contributes to your freedom and expansion is already flowing toward you, and nothing can obstruct it except your own disbelief. The moment you accept this identity, life begins to arrange itself accordingly. But many falter because they confuse the physical senses with truth. They look around and see bills, obligations, limited resources, and they say, how can I claim to be wealthy when my circumstances tell another story? But that is the great illusion. Circumstances are the children of past assumptions, not the parents of your future. They are echoes of what you once believed to be true, not what you are destined to experience. The mind that understands this walks through life differently. You no longer chase money with desperation. You no longer bow to the fear of lack. You carry yourself with the quiet authority of someone who knows their wealth is inevitable, because within their imagination it already exists. You speak differently. You make decisions with confidence. You no longer shrink from opportunities, for you recognize that everything is drawn to the one who assumes their desired state. It may feel unnatural at first. Your old identity, shaped by years of limitation, will resist. It will whisper doubts. It will remind you of past failures. But those are nothing more than fading echoes of an outdated version of you. Each time you say, I am a multimillionaire, you are chiseling away at that old identity, shaping a new inner reality that cannot be denied. This is not about arrogance. It is not about deception. It is about stepping into the fullness of who you were always meant to be. When you assume the identity of wealth now, you are aligning yourself with the truth that abundance was never separate from you. You are the source through which it flows. The world reflects your deepest assumptions back to you with precision. You cannot hold the inner posture of wealth and remain surrounded by lack for long. The world must conform. Consider how a confident actor steps onto a stage, fully embodying a character, before the audience believes in the performance. They do not wait for applause before becoming the role. They immerse themselves in the identity, and the world responds. In the same way, you must immerse yourself in the identity of a multi-millionaire now, before the outer applause of life begins. It is a subtle shift, but it changes everything. You walk into a room with different energy. You look at opportunities without fear. You interact with people from a place of generosity, of certainty, of quiet power. You stop explaining yourself. You stop waiting for signs. You understand that the only sign you need is the unwavering feeling within, that you are already the version of yourself who has the wealth, the freedom, the lifestyle you desire. And from that state, life bends to your will. Opportunities appear where there seem to be none. Resources flow effortlessly. People respond differently to you, sensing the quiet authority in your energy. The external world begins to mirror the internal state you refuse to abandon. The greatest barrier to wealth is the refusal to claim it now. The moment you say to yourself, I am a multimillionaire, and feel the truth of those words reverberate through your being, the creative process begins. Doubt may arise, circumstances may contradict, but none of it holds power over the one who persists in the assumption. You are not bound by time, by conditions, by the opinions of others. You are bound only by the limits you place upon your imagination. And when you remove those limits, when you boldly declare your wealth now, the world has no choice but to yield to that declaration. It begins and ends with the identity you assume within. Say to yourself, I am a multi-millionaire. Not tomorrow, Not someday, now. Feel the certainty. Walk in that state. Let the world catch up, and it will. The only reality that exists is the one you claim within your imagination. Everything you see outside of you, the house you live in, the numbers in your bank account, the opportunities you experience or lack, is a reflection, a mirror of your inner assumptions. Most people believe the world shapes them, that circumstances define their worth, their potential, their success. But that is the greatest misunderstanding of all. The truth is, your imagination is the only reality, and the world outside conforms itself to what you consistently assume to be true. You walk through life thinking the physical world is solid, unchangeable, absolute. But the physical world is like clay in your hands. It molds itself around the shape of your dominant thoughts, your persistent beliefs, your inner convictions. It does not create you, you create it. Your imagination precedes form. It is the unseen sculptor shaping the experiences that unfold before your eyes. Everything begins in that sacred invisible space within you, the space where you think, where you feel, where you assume. If you assume wealth, if you feel it as real, if you carry yourself as though the fortune you desire already belongs to you, the outer world cannot resist that signal. It responds to it, molds itself around it, reflects it back to you in the form of opportunities, resources, unexpected miracles. But if you assume lack, if you dwell in the feeling of scarcity, of limitation, of unworthiness, the world echoes that back as well. Your imagination is the womb of creation. Whatever you plant there with belief and persistence must grow into your lived experience. It is not a question of if, it is only a question of when. But most people misuse this gift. They imagine worst-case scenarios. They dwell in fears, doubts, and insecurities, never realizing that by doing so, they are creating those very conditions in the physical world. You have been given the extraordinary power to imagine freely. You can close your eyes and see yourself living in your dream home, driving your dream car, feeling the ease and freedom of limitless wealth. And the moment you do, the moment you accept that image as reality within, the outer world begins its silent, obedient process of rearrangement. It may not happen instantly. There may be a delay, like a seed planted in the earth that takes time to sprout. But the process has begun, and it cannot be stopped unless you abandon your assumption. The only reality that shapes your life is the one you dare to accept in your imagination. If you accept poverty, struggle, hardship as your truth, life will oblige you. But if you boldly declare, I am a multimillionaire, and feel that declaration as real, as unshakable as your current identity, then life must mirror that back to you. It is not arrogance, it is alignment. You are aligning your inner world with the reality you wish to live. And the outer world follows the blueprint you provide. It is not your job to figure out how. The mind loves to get entangled in the details, to question the steps, to demand proof before belief. But the how belongs to the unseen forces that govern creation. Your role is to assume the state, to dwell in the feeling, to imagine the reality so vividly that it overshadows current circumstances. The world outside is simply the echo, the delayed response, the clay waiting to be molded by your dominant assumption. Look at your life now. It is the sum total of everything you have believed, assumed, and accepted to be true about yourself and your world. If you do not like what you see, it is not a matter of luck, fate, or destiny. It is a reflection of your inner reality. Change that inner reality, persist in a new assumption, and the outer world bends to that vision. Imagination is not idle fantasy, it is creative law in action. When you visualize wealth, when you embody the feeling of being a multimillionaire now, you are sending a signal into the unseen that commands circumstances to shift, people to appear, opportunities to unfold. The world responds not to your wishes, not to your desperation, but to your unwavering assumption of already being the person you desire to be. This is why it is said that you must believe before you see, not the other way around. The world is delayed, your imagination is immediate. The moment you say to yourself, I am a multimillionaire, and feel it with conviction, the unseen gears of creation begin to turn. Life reorganizes itself, often in ways beyond your understanding, to bring that inner reality into outer form. But if you waver, if you let the current appearance of your life dictate your assumptions, you remain trapped in the cycle of repetition. You recreate the same patterns, the same limitations, because your inner world has not changed. It is only when you persist in the unseen, when you claim your desired reality as already true, that the physical world transforms to match it. Do not underestimate the power of your imagination. It is the birthplace of everything you experience. You can walk through life as a passive observer, reacting to what you see, or you can walk through life as the master creator, directing your reality by the images you hold and the feelings you entertain. The choice is always yours. Every fortune ever made, every empire ever built, every dream ever realized, began first as a formless, invisible idea in the mind of someone who dared to believe. They did not wait for evidence to believe. They believed, and the evidence came. So must you. You must dwell in the inner conviction that you are already the multimillionaire, already living the life of abundance, already free from limitation, regardless of what your senses suggest. The senses can lie. They're conditioned by past beliefs. But your imagination holds the key to your future. Use it deliberately. Visualize the wealth. Feel the security, the power, the joy of it. Make it so real within that the outer world has no choice but to align with your vision. The world reflects your inner assumptions like a perfect mirror. It cannot do otherwise. You can fight with circumstances, struggle with conditions, or you can change the cause, the inner world, and watch the outer world transform in response. Your imagination is not bound by logic, by current facts, by the opinions of others. It is free, limitless, creative. And when you understand that, when you use it with purpose, life bends to your will. The only reality is the one you claim within. Say to yourself with absolute certainty, I am a multimillionaire. Hold that vision. Feel that truth. Live from that state now. And as surely as night follows day, the world will mirror your assumption. Circumstances may scream the opposite of what you desire. You may look around and see lack, debt, or limitation. The world outside might tell a story that contradicts everything you are choosing to believe about yourself. But none of that holds true power over you unless you surrender to it. Persistent assumption overrides present limitations. Always. It does not matter how impossible the situation appears. It does not matter how long you've lived in lack, how often you've heard no, how empty your bank account looks, how far the dream feels. None of that defines your future unless you allow it. The only thing that defines your future is the state you persist in within your own mind. You are not the victim of your environment. You are not at the mercy of statistics, economy, family background, or current conditions. You are the master of your reality, and your assumptions shape the very ground you walk upon. The world is flexible, malleable, obedient to the authority of your inner belief. But that authority only takes effect when you persist, when you hold the assumption regardless of what the senses suggest. To persist means to dwell in the feeling of the wish fulfilled, not once, not twice, but consistently, as a state of being. You do not dip into the feeling of wealth for a few moments, then fall back into doubt, fear, or frustration. You remain there. You occupy the state of wealth like you would occupy a home. You settle into it, live from it, breathe from it, speak from it, even while the outer world still reflects the old patterns. This is the great test. the place where most fall away. They expect immediate evidence, instant results, and when circumstances contradict their desire, they abandon the assumption and declare it doesn't work. But what they fail to see is that the delay, the resistance, the appearance of opposition is not a sign of failure. It is part of the process. The outer world is catching up to the new inner blueprint. Reality has momentum, and old assumptions may still echo for a time. But if you persist, unwavering, the old must dissolve and the new must emerge. Persistent assumption is not about fighting reality, it is about refusing to accept as permanent what you no longer desire to experience. You look at the bank statement, you hear the doubts of others, you witness the temporary absence of your desire, and yet inwardly you remain unshaken. You say to yourself, I am a multimillionaire, not as an empty affirmation, but as an unshakable fact, as a settled identity, as the only truth that matters. The world may not change overnight, but your inner state does. And that inner state is the seed. It grows quietly beneath the surface, often unseen. But the seed planted in the fertile soil of persistent assumption cannot fail to bloom. It is law. It is the foundation of all creation. Look at those who have achieved great success, those who have overcome impossible odds. Study them, and you will find this quiet thread woven through their story. They assumed their success, their wealth, their victory long before the world acknowledged it. They lived from the state of their desire fulfilled, even while others mocked, doubted, or dismissed them. They persisted in their assumption, and the world, slowly at first, then with undeniable force, rearranged itself to match their belief. You are no different. The power that reshapes worlds resides within you, but it answers to persistence, not fleeting hope. You may feel discouraged. You may have moments where doubt creeps in. That is human. But the key is to return again and again to the state you desire. When fear arises, remind yourself of who you are becoming. Better yet, who you already are within. You do not chase wealth, you embody it. You do not beg for abundance, you assume it. You do not wait for permission, you declare it. And in that quiet, consistent declaration, the walls of limitation crumble, the doors open, the impossible becomes inevitable. The mind will resist at first. Years of conditioning, of lack, of believing only what the senses report have built walls around your imagination. But every time you persist in the new assumption, those walls crack, weaken, and eventually fall away. You must be willing to be consistent even when the evidence is slow to appear. Your job is not to micromanage the how. Your job is to dwell in the state of the wish fulfilled, as though it were already done. There is a natural bridge of events that unfolds between assumption and manifestation. You may not predict it, you may not control every detail, but that bridge is built the moment you persist in your chosen identity. Every step, every encounter, every opportunity is drawn to you, woven together by forces beyond your current understanding. All because you refuse to abandon the assumption. Persistence is power. Those who master it reshape their reality. Those who waver remain trapped in cycles of frustration and disappointment. The choice is always yours. Will you bow to present circumstances, or will you stand firm in the unseen, declaring your wealth, your abundance, your success, regardless of appearances? When you persist, the outer world becomes irrelevant. You walk through life carrying a secret the world cannot yet see, that you are already living the life you desire within. And because the world is obedient to your inner state, it must, in time, conform. So you say, I am a multimillionaire, not as fantasy, not as empty words, but as the declaration of your true identity. You persist in that assumption. You carry yourself with the quiet authority of wealth. You make decisions from the perspective of abundance. You feel the ease, the confidence, the freedom, long before the outer evidence appears. And as you persist, life responds. The world, bound by the laws of creation, bends itself to your dominant belief. The opportunities come, the doors open, the resources flow. But it all begins and is sustained by your persistent assumption. The unwavering belief that you already are what you desire to be. It is not enough to merely speak the words. You can repeat affirmations all day long, but without the feeling, without the emotional acceptance of your new identity, those words remain hollow sounds bouncing off the walls of your mind. Feeling is the secret. The emotional state you dwell in each day is the magnet that pulls your desired reality into form. You must feel the emotional state of wealth daily, not occasionally, not only when it is convenient, but as a steady, unwavering atmosphere within your being. Think carefully about this. Every person alive is living in a state, whether consciously chosen or unconsciously accepted. Some dwell in a state of limitation, of struggle, of lack, without even realizing it. Their emotions, their reactions, their expectations all reveal where they live inwardly. The outer world they experience is simply a mirror of that inner emotional home. You cannot fake your state. You may tell others that you are confident, that you are successful, that you are abundant, but your true emotional state will always reveal itself in the quiet moments when no one is watching. It leaks through your thoughts, your posture, your decisions, your reactions to life. That is why cultivating the emotional state of wealth must become your daily practice, your constant dwelling place. Feeling wealthy is not about walking through stores buying things you cannot afford to impress strangers. It is about cultivating an inner atmosphere of security, of freedom, of ease, of limitless possibility. It is about knowing in the depths of your being that you are supported by the unseen forces of life, that resources flow to you naturally, that opportunities are drawn to you effortlessly, because you live from the state of abundance. The moment you dwell in lack, even for a second, you send a signal to the universe that you are not ready to receive. You cannot fool the creative laws that govern this reality. They respond not to your words alone, but to your dominant emotional state. If your words say, "I am wealthy," but your heart feels anxiety, fear, or lack, it is the emotion that holds power, not the surface level words. This is why the inner feeling is everything. You must practice the emotional state of wealth until it becomes second nature, until it saturates your thoughts, your actions, your energy. You must feel what it means to be free, to be secure, to be powerful in your financial life, even when your outer circumstances have yet to catch up. How do you do this? You begin by using your imagination deliberately. You close your eyes and see yourself living the life you desire, not as a distant fantasy, but as a present reality. You feel the leather seats of your dream car beneath you. You walk through the home you have always wanted. You hear the sound of your own voice, confident and calm, knowing that wealth is yours. You experience the freedom to travel, to give generously, to live without financial restriction. And as you do, your body responds, your mind responds, your heart begins to align with that new reality. It may feel strange at first. Your current circumstances may shout the opposite. But the imagination is more real than the physical world because it is the cause. The physical is merely the delayed effect. The more you dwell in the feeling of wealth, the more you impress that state upon your subconscious mind, and your subconscious governs your reality without effort, drawing people, situations, and resources to you as a perfect reflection of your dominant inner state. This is not about pretending or forcing emotion. It is about gently guiding yourself back into the feeling again and again until it becomes your natural resting place. When you catch yourself worrying about money, doubting your ability to succeed, you gently shift your attention. You return to the feeling of already being a multimillionaire. You ask yourself, how would I feel if I truly believed I am already wealthy? And you allow that feeling to rise, even if only for a moment. Over time, those moments stretch into hours, those hours into days, until your entire being is saturated with the energy of wealth. You no longer seek validation from the outer world because you carry the proof within. Your emotions reveal the truth of who you are becoming, and the world, obedient as ever, must follow. This emotional mastery is the key most overlooked. They speak of wealth but dwell in fear. They dream of abundance but live in anxiety. They wish for success but remain emotionally aligned with struggle. The gap between their desire and their reality is the emotional state they refuse to shift. But when you make the feeling of wealth your daily practice, everything changes. You walk into rooms differently, you speak with calm authority, you make decisions from a place of confidence, not desperation. People sense your energy. Opportunities gravitate toward you, drawn by the frequency you emit. The world becomes a mirror, reflecting back your inner wealth. Even when the bank account has yet to swell, even when the circumstances appear unchanged, you remain anchored in the emotional state of wealth. You feel the joy, the ease, the security, as if it were already here. And by doing so, you collapse time. You dissolve the illusion of waiting. You bring the future into the now, where creation happens. Feeling is the bridge between desire and manifestation. It is the signal, the command, the permission slip you give to life to rearrange itself on your behalf. You do not need to know how it will happen. The details are not your concern. Your responsibility is to maintain the feeling, to saturate your being with the emotion of already having your desire fulfilled. And as you do, your reality shifts. The people, the opportunities, the resources, they arrive. Not because you begged for them, but because you aligned with them. You became a match to the wealth you seek by dwelling in the feeling of it daily. This is the hidden art of creation. It is not found in effort alone, but in the mastery of your emotional state. You live from the inside out. You command reality by the feelings you entertain, the atmosphere you cultivate within. Wealth, abundance, freedom, they are emotional states first, physical experiences second. So each day you choose to dwell in the feeling of being a multimillionaire, to walk through life as though the wealth you desire is already yours. You saturate your mind, your heart, your energy with that truth. You feel the freedom, the joy, the gratitude, not someday, but now. And as you do, reality bends to your assumption, and the wealth you feel within materializes without, as surely as night follows day. You must understand that the world outside of you is not the origin of your success, your wealth, your transformation. It is the reflection. The external signs you crave, the bank balance swelling with zeros, the opportunities landing in your lap, the recognition of your success, all of it follows the quiet, invisible work you do within. It never precedes it. External signs follow inner conviction. They never lead the way. You cannot wait for the evidence to believe. You believe first, and then the evidence appears. Most people reverse this order. They stand at the door of life with their arms crossed, saying, I will believe I am wealthy when I see the money. But by doing so, they deny themselves the very key that unlocks the abundance they seek. They do not understand the process. They live as prisoners of their senses, chained to the visible, never realizing the visible is the last place change occurs. The unseen is the cause. The seen is the effect. When you declare, I am a multimillionaire, and you hold that declaration not as a fleeting hope, but as an unshakable fact within your consciousness, you set in motion forces that cannot be seen by the naked eye. The world begins to rearrange itself. Circumstances shift. People you have never met move into alignment. Opportunities hidden from your awareness begin to emerge, all orchestrated by the inner conviction you refuse to abandon. But the signs, the proof, The visible manifestations come after, not before. The harvest never precedes the planting. You must sow the seed of belief deep within your imagination and nourish it with daily persistence, unwavering faith, and emotional alignment. You cannot plant the seed today and demand the fruit by nightfall. You trust the process. You understand that the inner reality is already yours and the outer reflection is simply catching up. This is where most falter. They waver. They allow current appearances to dictate their state. They peek into their bank account, see lack, and abandon their assumption of wealth. They measure their progress by what is visible, forgetting that the most significant changes are occurring beneath the surface, in the unseen realms of consciousness. But the wise, those who master creation, understand the order of life. They walk in the assumption of wealth, of success, of abundance, even when the world offers no visible confirmation. They speak as the wealthy speak. They move with the calm authority of those who know their worth. They make decisions aligned with their new identity, not with the limitations of past circumstances. And as they persist, the world bends. The signs begin to appear, sometimes subtle at first. A conversation, an unexpected opportunity, a sudden shift in perspective, then more overt. The deal closes, the investment pays off, the business flourishes, the resources flow in unexpected ways. But all of it follows the inner work, the sustained belief that refused to be shaken. This is the law of creation. The world cannot reflect what you have not first accepted within. You cannot experience wealth while dwelling in poverty consciousness. You cannot live in abundance while entertaining thoughts of limitation. You cannot receive the signs you seek until you become the person who naturally aligns with them. This is why it is said, to those who have, more will be given. It is not about material possession, it is about inner state. When you have the state of wealth within, the world mirrors it with more wealth, more opportunities, more signs of success. But when you dwell in lack, in fear, in unworthiness, the world reflects that limitation back, confirming the assumptions you refuse to release. You must discipline yourself to stay aligned with your chosen identity, even when the outer world lags behind. You remind yourself daily, I am a multi-millionaire. You feel the reality of that statement saturating your being. You walk, talk, and think from that state, knowing the signs will follow, not out of hope, but as an inevitable law. Doubt is natural. The old self will whisper that nothing is changing. The senses will tempt you to return to familiar limitations. But your power lies in your ability to persist in belief beyond what is seen. You hold to the conviction that the wealth is already yours, that the life you desire is unfolding in perfect timing, and that the signs you seek are already on their way. You may not control the exact form or timing of those signs. Life operates with infinite intelligence, weaving together people, events, and circumstances beyond your conscious comprehension. Your role is not to micromanage the process, but to maintain the inner conviction, the emotional alignment, the state of certainty that draws the outer signs into form. And they will come, often when you least expect them. A door opens where none existed. A connection sparks an opportunity. A moment of insight reveals the next step. These signs are the universe's response to your unwavering belief, the outer validation of the inner reality you have already claimed. But they are not the source, they are the reflection. You do not worship the signs. You do not depend on them to strengthen your belief. You allow them to appear naturally, knowing they are the inevitable result of your persistent assumption. You stay grounded in the truth that your wealth, your success, your abundance begins and ends within. This understanding liberates you from fear, from impatience, from the desperate search for proof. You no longer need the world to confirm your worth, because you have already confirmed it within. You no longer chase after signs, they follow you. You live from the identity of wealth, and the world, obedient as always, mirrors that identity back with precise accuracy. The signs will come: the overflowing bank account, the prosperous business, the financial freedom. They are guaranteed, but only to the one who persists in the inner state without wavering. The world cannot resist the authority of sustained belief. It bends to the one who understands the order of creation. Inner conviction first, outer manifestation second. So you declare, daily and with certainty, I am a multimillionaire. You feel the truth of that statement in your body, your mind, your emotions. You live from that state, knowing the signs will follow. You release the need for immediate evidence, trusting the process. And as you do, the world rearranges itself, the signs appear, and the wealth you have already claimed within takes form before your eyes. Close your eyes for a moment. Forget your bank balance, forget your debts, forget the labels this world has pinned upon you. Instead, step boldly into a higher truth. You are already the millionaire you seek to become. The mistake most people make is this: they wait for their outer world to change before they allow their inner world to rise. But that's not how creation works. Your outer world is merely a reflection of the state you occupy within. To feel like a millionaire before you become one, you must dare to assume it. Now, start with the feeling. How would it feel to have all your needs met with ease? How would you walk into a room? What posture would you hold? What calm would live in your breath, in your mind, in your body? Now feel it, not with force, but with faith. Don't try to become rich. Be rich in mind. Talk to yourself the way a millionaire would. Speak of your plans, your vision, your legacy. Think with the abundance of someone who knows they are supported by the infinite. This is not fantasy. This is creation in motion. You see, it is the feeling that plants the seed, the persistence that waters it, and your inner world held firm that demands its harvest. Even if your senses scream lack, persist in the assumption. Ignore the noise. You are not here to reflect the world, but to command it. You are not a victim of circumstances. You are the operant power. So begin today. Walk into every room with the quiet knowing that you are already it. You are not waiting for wealth, you are radiating it. You are not hoping for abundance, you are aligned with it. You are not chasing the future, you are living it now. And when you truly feel like a millionaire, not someday, but now, then the world has no choice but to reflect back your conviction. If your conviction is strong, then the world and you will conspire. Let others doubt, let others worry. You, on the other hand, will rise, not because you begged for it, but because you dared to feel it. Listen. Everything begins in the unseen. The world you live in is not created by effort alone, but by the ideas you hold and the pictures you entertain in the quiet of your mind. What you imagine, believe, and accept as true within yourself becomes the blueprint for your outer experience. This is not mere philosophy. It is the law by which all things come into being. To feel wealthy, to become wealthy, you must first see yourself as wealthy in consciousness. Not someday, not when your paycheck increases, not when your debts disappear, but now, in this moment, where your true power resides. What you consistently hold in your imagination begins to shape the structure of your reality. Most people believe they must wait for change before they feel different, but the truth is inverted. When you feel different, the world must change to match your inner state. The imagination is not a playground. It is the workshop of creation. It is the womb of reality. When you close your eyes and see yourself living in your ideal home, wearing the finest clothes, moving through the world with ease and elegance, that is not fantasy. That is the seed of manifestation. And just like a seed planted in soil, what you nurture in your inner world must eventually appear above the surface. The delay you experience is not denial, it is gestation. Life is not punishing you. It is simply responding to the strength of your assumptions. To accept something as true internally is to give it life. You must not merely wish for wealth, you must accept it as done. Imagine walking into a room and knowing you are wealthy, not because someone said so, not because of a number on a screen, but because you said so. That kind of inner authority bends the world to its image. Your assumption, once felt deeply and persistently, commands reality. The wealthy version of you already exists, not in the future, but in the present moment of imagination. When you align with that version of yourself, when you consistently think, feel, and act as though it is already true, you begin to move in harmony with the outcome. You're no longer a seeker, you become the embodiment of the thing desired. The world then begins to reorganize itself to fit the mold you've held in your mind. But here is the secret. You must do this in spite of your current circumstances. You must ignore what your senses say and believe in what your inner eye sees. The world will try to convince you otherwise. It will flash numbers and situations and stories to keep you locked in the present state. But your job is to remain loyal to your vision. The outer world is not the truth. It is the echo. Your imagination is the source. So do not wait for money to feel rich. Do not wait for recognition to feel valuable. Do not wait for permission to live fully. Assume it now, see it now, feel it now. Because when you imagine something and accept it without doubt, you have already claimed it. And once it is real in you, it will become real for you. Words alone are powerless without the force that animates them, feeling. To declare that you are rich, abundant, or successful means very little if it remains only an intellectual statement. It is the feeling behind the words that shapes reality. Feeling is the secret language of creation, the invisible current that turns thought into form. When you feel something deeply and consistently, you impress it upon the deeper layers of your being, and the world must respond in kind. The great misunderstanding is believing that repeated affirmations without emotion can shift your world. You may say, "I am wealthy," 1,000 times, but if within you there is anxiety, doubt, or a sense of lack, then what you are truly broadcasting to the universe is the opposite of your words. The conscious mind may speak the phrase, but the subconscious mind, which accepts only what you feel to be true, remains unconvinced, and it is the subconscious that creates. Feeling is the bridge between the inner world and the outer. It is the proof of belief, the evidence of assumption. When you feel rich, even before any outward sign of wealth, you have already begun to live from that reality. You are no longer a beggar at the door of your desires. You have entered the house and taken your seat. That inner certainty, that quiet, confident joy, that is the signal creation responds to. To feel wealthy does not require money in the bank. It requires the decision to dwell in the emotional state of abundance. Ask yourself, how would it feel to be free? To know you can give without fear, receive without guilt, and live without limitation? Let that feeling rise within you, not as a distant hope, but as a present truth. Let it saturate your thoughts, your words, your posture. Let it become the atmosphere you breathe. And do not wait for evidence. The world may show you contradiction, but your task is to hold the feeling regardless. That is faith. Not belief in a far-off future, but the conviction that it is already done. When you persist in the feeling of the wish fulfilled, the world will conform because it has no choice. It is only a mirror. Understand this deeply. You do not manifest what you want, you manifest what you are. And what you are is determined by what you feel to be true. You can pretend with your words, but you cannot lie with your vibration. If you feel small, unworthy, or anxious, then the world will echo that state. But if you feel expansive, powerful, and complete, then all things must bend to match it. So when you say, I am rich, do not say it with hollow hope. Say it from a place of joy, of certainty, of relaxed knowing. Say it because you have already touched the feeling and made it your home. Creation listens not to your tongue, but to your tone. And when the tone is one of true alignment, life moves. The feeling is the key. Guard it, practice it, return to it again and again. Because once you master the art of feeling, you have mastered the art of creation. Creation begins with assumption, not with evidence. The world will tell you to work harder, wait longer, or earn your way into abundance. But true transformation begins when you dare to live in the end. To live in the end means to mentally and emotionally dwell in the state of the wish fulfilled. Not tomorrow, not one day, but now. It is to act, feel, and think from the version of yourself who has already achieved the thing you desire. You do not wait to be wealthy to feel like a millionaire. You must feel like a millionaire first. And then the world reshapes itself to reflect that feeling. It is not arrogance, it is spiritual certainty. You walk as if it is already yours, not because you are pretending, but because your imagination has accepted it as done. The inner reality becomes more real than what your eyes can see. Begin with this question. If I already had it, how would I live? How would you speak about your life? How would you carry yourself? What decisions would you make if the outcome were guaranteed? You see, most people live from the state of lack, constantly reacting to what is missing. They speak of their goals as something separate, far away, always becoming but never arrived. That state of almost keeps them trapped. But when you live in the end, you skip the waiting. You align with the version of yourself who already has what they once hoped for. You bring the end into the present moment. And when you do, the process begins to unfold around you. Life moves to support the state you persist in, not the one you wish for, but the one you occupy. So walk differently, talk differently, dress not to impress others, but to reflect your new inner identity. If the you who already succeeded wouldn't be begging, doubting, or chasing, then stop doing those things. Adopt the posture of fulfillment. Live as though you're already there. This is not deception. This is deliberate creation. You are not lying to yourself. You are calling forth the unseen and giving it shape through conviction. You are choosing to no longer live as a reflection of past experiences, but as a reflection of a chosen future that you now claim as present. This is the greatest power you possess, the ability to enter the state of your desired reality before any physical proof appears. And yes, the world may resist at first. It may echo old patterns or reflect temporary contradiction. But stay unmoved. Keep your vision fixed. Keep living in the end. Because once you fully accept something within, the outer world must rearrange to match it. It is law. So stop measuring your progress with your senses. Your senses are always late to the party. Trust what you feel in the unseen, assume it boldly, live it unapologetically. And when you do, when you embody the end result as your now reality, what you once longed for will become your everyday experience. The journey is not to the end. The journey is from the end. Choose the state and let the world follow. The greatest power you have is the ability to persist in an inner state, regardless of what the outer world shows you. Most people give up too soon. They imagine for a few minutes, they feel the desire once or twice, but then they look around and see no change. And so they return to doubt, to fear, to the belief that perhaps this isn't working. But the truth is this: reality must conform to what you persist in assuming, not what you briefly hope for. To persist in the assumption means to remain faithful to the inner vision, even when the senses tell a different story. It is to walk through lack while feeling abundance. It is to hold peace in your heart while chaos swirls around you. This isn't delusion, it is discipline. It is mastery of the unseen. Your current circumstances are not permanent. They are reflections of past assumptions, thoughts and feelings you accepted as true long ago. They are echoes, not truths. And if you want to create something new, you must stop reacting to the echo. You must become loyal to what you choose to be true, not to what the world temporarily reflects back to you. Persistence is the mark of all creation. Nothing comes into this world without pressure being applied. Just as a seed must push against the soil to rise, your assumption must push through doubt, appearances, and delay. That's not a sign of failure, it's a sign that the new is forming. And if you shift your state back to lack, you interrupt the process. But if you persist, unwaveringly, you give your assumption time to take root and unfold. Think of your desired state as a place you dwell. Once you move in, don't keep peeking outside to check if the scenery is changed. Stay inside. Live there. Make it your home. Speak from that place. Think from that place. Feel from that place. Your persistence is the signal that tells the universe you mean it, that you are no longer entertaining if or when you are already there. And yes, the world may test you. You might experience moments that feel like the opposite of what you desire. But don't be fooled. These are merely the final flickers of the old story burning out. Your only job is to remain consistent in your new identity. Do not explain yourself to the world. Do not argue with appearances. Just return to the state. Again and again, every time you choose to assume your desired reality and hold it, you are sculpting your world. You may not see it instantly, but the shift is happening. Persist and the unseen becomes seen. Persist and the inner becomes outer. Persist and the world cannot help but yield. You are not here to beg reality for change, you are here to declare it from within. So no matter what comes, stand firm, feel it real, live in the vision, stay loyal to your chosen state. Because when you persist in the assumption becomes fact. It is not a matter of if, it is only a matter of when. One of the most liberating truths you can embrace is this: you are not responsible for the how. The moment you decide to manifest something, whether it's wealth, love, health, or success, your only true responsibility is to assume the state of already having it. The how is not your concern. It belongs to the unseen intelligence that governs creation. When you try to control the method, you block the flow. But when you surrender the how and embody the feeling of the end, the way begins to unfold naturally, often in ways you could have never imagined. Trying to figure out how you'll become a millionaire places you back into the mindset of lack. Why? Because behind every how is the assumption that you don't yet have it. And if that is your starting point, you'll continue to create more evidence of not having. Your job is to step into the energy, the confidence, the calm of already being wealthy, and to trust that the bridge of incidents leading you there will appear step by step. And this doesn't mean you sit passively or ignore inspired action. It means you stop trying to force the outcome through logic and stress. It means you begin to live as if what you desire is already yours, and from that state, your actions carry power, your thoughts carry clarity, and your path begins to reveal itself without effort. Any refusal of fate or fear, refusal of progress, creates incompleteness. It means you stop trying to force the outcome through logic and stress. It means you begin to reveal itself without effort. The truth is, the how was never yours to worry about. It is handled by the unseen laws of life, the silent currents that orchestrate people, places, and events to match the assumptions you hold. But these laws only move when your assumption is clear and your state is stable. If you keep jumping in and out of belief, if you keep doubting and adjusting based on what you see, you confuse the process. The state of already having it is the magnet. When you live in the end, when you feel rich before the money arrives, life responds by making that feeling real. You might get a call, an idea, an opportunity. The door might open through a stranger or sudden shift. But it will never be what you expected. That's the beauty of detachment. It leaves room for miracles. You cannot control the universe, but you can control your inner state. And that is all you need. Stop analyzing. Stop overthinking. Stop asking, how will it come? And start asking, how would I feel if it were already here? Then live from that feeling. Trust that what is yours by assumption must find its way to you. Let go of the timeline. Let go of the path. Let go of the mental strain. You were never meant to carry it all. You are meant to feel it, know it, assume it, and then let life do what it does best. Bring form to your faith. When you detach from the how, you open the door to faster, smoother, and often more extraordinary results. Because now you're not trying to force reality. You're allowing it to unfold in perfect harmony with your assumption. The outer world is not the cause of your inner state, it is the effect. Everything you see around you, your finances, your relationship, your opportunities, is nothing more than a reflection of your inner world. The thoughts you think, the emotions you dwell in, and the assumptions you hold all form a blueprint that life faithfully mirrors. When you finally understand this, you stop trying to fix the outside and start transforming the inside. Because the truth is simple. You don't become a millionaire and then feel abundant. You feel abundant first, and that feeling calls wealth to you. This may sound backward to the logical mind, but it is the only way creation truly works. You are always broadcasting something, a mood, a tone, a belief. And the world picks up on that signal and reflects it back through people, events, and experiences. If your inner conversations are filled with fear, doubt, and lack, then no matter how much you struggle or strive, the results will echo those vibrations. But if your inner dialogue is rich, empowered, and full of expectancy, your life will begin to align with abundance, not because of luck, but because of law. Think of your mind as a projector. The images you hold within, consciously or unconsciously, are cast outward into the world. The people you attract, the situations you face, and even the challenges you meet are all aligned with the frequency of your dominant state of being. Change the film inside, and the picture on the screen must change too. So begin with your self-talk. What do you say to yourself when no one is listening? Do you affirm your worth and potential, or do you rehearse your limitations and fears? These inner conversations are more powerful than any action you take. They set the tone for your decisions, your behavior, and the way the world responds to you. If you want to become a millionaire, don't wait for the money to arrive to feel worthy. Feel worthy now. Begin to carry yourself like someone who is financially secure. Walk with the calm confidence of someone who knows their needs are already met. Speak with the clarity of a person who is already living the life they desire. These are not tricks or fantasies. They are acts of alignment. Your feelings are commands. Your assumptions are instructions. When you decide to feel abundant, truly feel it in your body, your thoughts, and your emotions, you activate a new version of yourself. And this version becomes the magnet that draws wealth, ideas, connections, and opportunities to match it. Life doesn't respond to desperation, it responds to conviction. You must stop begging reality to change and start instructing it through your inner state. You must become the cause, not the effect. Let your inner world be so strong, so vivid, so saturated with the feeling of abundance that the outer world has no choice but to match it. This is how transformation happens, not from the outside in, but from the inside out. Master your inner world, and the outer world will follow. Speak abundance, feel abundance, live abundance, and abundance will become your truth. Behold within you the power to transform your life, not through force or struggle, but through the gentle, persistent assumption of your desired state. You do not need to wait to become a millionaire to feel abundant. You must feel abundant first. Your imagination is the canvas, your feelings are the brush, and your assumptions are the command. When you live in the end, persist in that vision, and detach from the how, you align yourself with the higher reality. The outer world can only reflect the inner. So speak with faith, feel with conviction, and walk in the confidence of the one who already is. Because the moment you claim it inwardly, the world has no choice but to yield. To say to thanks. Thank you for listening, and more importantly, for daring to believe in the power within you. Keep imagining boldly, feeling richly, and living fully. Your new reality is already on its way.